I'm Emily Ann Page and you're watching Start to Sold. And today we're going to talk about lessons you can learn from your worst and best customer. So have you thanked your best customers this year yet? Have you written them a handwritten note or called them just to shoot the I'm curious if you've actually started building your plans for the year around that person with them in mind. We every year want to retool our business and make brand new plans. And it is very tempting to build our plans around the pain points that we have in our business. And I'm talking about not just the pain points, but the painful people. It's that painful customer who is the worst. They love complaining. They love writing you angry emails in the middle of the night. They always want to change the project scope or ask for more. They come back and negotiate on the price constantly. Sometimes they're happy and sometimes they're super mad. They even gaslight you and say things like, "You're the best. I want you to run our whole company. I want you to be in charge of everything." And then all of a sudden change their mood within a 30-day period of time to give you nightmares, make your stomach churn. This type of customer is your worst customer. These are the people who we don't want to build our business towards. By building a business to make them happy, we actually can make ourselves unhappy. And if you were trying to study counterfeit dollars and be able to identify them, you don't go and study counterfeit. You start with the real deal. So what does that mean we should do for our businesses? Perhaps we should be focusing on identifying, understanding, thanking, and building around our best customer. And our best customer, what are they like? Oh my gosh. First of all, they don't complain when they pay you. They pay you on time. They write you cute thank you notes after you've done something because they really appreciated your work. They're encouraging. They'll tell you the truth. So that doesn't mean they don't complain or that they don't have problems. But after you clearly understood the issues, they're empathetic or they're able to relate to your situation and then be able to be grateful at the very end of it all. In fact, they're easy to work with. They seem to fit perfectly into the system you've already built. Or when they ask for more, they give you a revelation of ways that you could actually do a better job in serving them. They ask questions instead of bossing you around. In fact, they're in general pretty happy with your service. They don't have any hesitation paying on time. They don't negotiate on the cost. They're really happy with what you do. And you go to sleep at night feeling satisfied that you did a good job when you work with them. These are telltale signs that live within your gut that tell you, this person is my ideal customer. The benefit of building a business around this person is not just going to be a stronger business, although that is going to happen. You'll also attract more of the similar type of customer that you love. And on top of that, you'll actually be happier, more satisfied, able to scale faster. So how can you go about finding that ideal customer and creating a strategy around that person? Today, I've got 2 tools that are going to make it super easy. We're going to start with the rule that what you focus on will grow. Ding. If you want something to grow, you need to focus on it. How do we do that? Once we identify our target customer, which we'll go over in point 2, you need to invest a lot of time and energy into thinking about them. The simplest way to do it is to actually get on the phone and call them. People don't want to do that anymore. It's a common thing to push your customers onto membership portals, forcing them to talk to you on Slack, on Twitter, send them an email. There's so many other methods of communicating with people. But if this is your best customer, giving them a phone call or at least being willing to call them if necessary, being readily available to communicate in the method that they prefer is the best way to keep them happy. And don't just talk to them about your business, talk to them about your personal life. Say, how are you doing? How's the year gone? How did you feel things went between you and I? How did it go for your business in general? You can ask a broad, sweeping swoop of questions that will allow that customer to actually vent and tell you the information that you will need to focus on them. When you are showing up for them, you'll be surprised, but usually they will show up for you. Inside of that customer who's so happy is oftentimes more opportunities that you didn't even know about just because you were too busy dealing with your troublesome, quarrelsome, complicated clients. When you spend more time talking to your ideal customer, you will learn about opportunities you didn't even know existed, which means you could have more opportunities to solve their problems, which means you can have more opportunities to grow your revenue. So I would recommend scheduling some time to actually call your favorite customers and talk to them. And I'm telling you, this is very difficult from experience. The noisy guys are the first ones that keep me up at night, so I want to go write that email, talking to the jerks. The people who are actually good, they don't bother me. They don't write me emails in the middle of the night and yell, which is why you have to calendar time. What you focus on will grow. Let's grow that customer who's always been awesome, and possibly that person will also have referrals to similar companies. Focus on them. Not only will that relationship grow, but your entire business will too. The second tool I have for you is my favorite, the 80-20 rule, which is also called Pareto's principle. And this concept, which you should memorize and apply in every little weird area of your business, is that if you were to do something 100 times, like planting 100 seeds, you would find statistically that on average, 20% of the 100 seeds you planted will bear more fruit than the others. In fact, they will represent 80% of the yield of those seeds. So what it means is that a minority of some input will result in the majority of a certain output. And I can give you an interesting example. If you put a little tiny rock inside of your shoe, that rock is so small, where it's located it can create a lot of pain. Another example could be with your customers. Out of 100 customers, I promise you that 20% of them, or about that, will be wonderful. You'll notice that they are the source of 80% of your revenue, meaning they are the big whale. The whale that's creating most of the income, most of the work. I want to apply this to your business and show you specifically using an Excel spreadsheet how you can apply this information to your business. I do this all the time with people who I'm consulting with. The first step you need to do is pull your sales data from the last year. And ideally, you want to pull it by customer. So we're going to sort it by customer and you're going to rank it. So that's step number 2, rank those customers. You can do that with a little filter on Excel. So meaning the highest revenue generating customers will be at the top and the lowest ones will be at the bottom. And after that, you sum the total and you have some dollar amount. For example, $615,000. And in this case, all you do is multiply that by 0.2, and that will give you the total amount of revenue that you need to analyze. Any customer, when you sum from the top down, that's generating this amount of money is your top 20%. Now, in this example, I'm using a very small customer base. There's only 10 people or 10 businesses. In your case, the larger your business, the more dramatic the gap and the more accurate this 80-20 rule will be. In smaller businesses, you might find, like this example, it's 50%. 50% of business is actually coming from these top 2 customers. But in this case, it's so empowering to say, oh my gosh, I could literally stop serving the bottom 80% of these customers and literally nearly make the same amount of money, meaning I don't have to work so hard. Okay, so I'm going to do this from scratch in my Excel spreadsheet right here. If this is my profit and loss statement, I go to the top here and I sort from A to Z, custom sort. Okay, we're going to go with column B, values from largest to smallest. So now we see customer A is no longer the first customer in this list. These are the top 2 customers. It goes, B, A, G. And then we're going to come here and sum the total. And the total is $615,000. We multiply that by 0.2 and we get $123,000. And so in the bottom here, Excel does this cool thing where you can actually see numbers without having to do formulas. So you can go like this and you can watch the bottom number and it will show you what the sum is. And what you'll realize very quickly is that 20% of your revenue is actually coming from one single customer in this case because there's only 10 customers. So if I was talking to you and counseling you on your business, I might possibly want to include this customer as well because you can very quickly see, which is their total revenue divided by the total, and you'll see that they represent 30% of their total business. And in this case, this person represents 20%. That means together, you can see here in the sum in the bottom of Excel, 54% of the revenue of this particular fake business is coming from these 2 customers, customer B and customer A. In fact, they represent 2 times the amount of revenue of customer G. You can so quickly see that if you could just find one more customer B and one more customer A, your whole revenue would change, your bottom line, because these customers are so significant. I say this lovingly. There's an analogy that if you find one cockroach, that means there's 100. And that's what's true of your ideal customer. When you find your big revenue customer, there is always at least one more. You can figure out how you found them. What did you do to attract them to begin with? Why did they buy from you? Where do they hang out? What trade shows do they attend? What trade articles do they read? Who is their favorite ideal customer that you could go and serve and be able to grab their attention by having relationships with those people? It completely changes the game of how you end up hunting for new customers, searching for new people to serve. So this tells you right here, this is the fastest way to find out what your Pareto customer is. And once you've done that, it's so awesome and fun to actually analyze what makes this person so wonderful. Why are they giving us so much revenue? And there's of course, statistical data, meaning maybe they buy more, maybe this customer B and A are top tier revenue enterprise companies. Maybe they're Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies, and the other ones represent smaller businesses. It's really clear usually that larger customers will generate more revenue. They just have more needs. So to come back to the analysis, after you've written down the factual information about this customer, sort of the demographic, we can talk about the psychographic, which is the mental elements of them. What do they believe? What core values do they share in common with us? Is their process really clean and smooth? That's one thing that you can observe. And so you want to jot all this stuff down, write out what makes this customer such a great resource and asset for you. But there's also subjective information. How do you feel serving this customer? Sometimes when I do this analysis with businesses, they'll say that customer A is just a nightmare and it's not worth the revenue. And that's really helpful, valuable information because time, and I would argue feelings, are money. It's okay to decide that one of the top revenue generating businesses in your Rolodex and portfolio are not your ideal customer. But you wouldn't know that until you had that conversation with your team. The other advantage of this is that you actually have narrowed down the priority. But in this case, we know that if we could grow revenue with these customers or just get more customers just like them, we would be so happy. Just imagine a world where customer B, which generated $179,000 in revenue, if we stopped serving customer B, G, D, C, all the way down the list, and just focused on getting more B's and A's, we would be able to completely obliterate our revenue goals. And so by identifying who is really causing the biggest impact for us, we can start investing and building towards this ideal customer. And so after you've done that, we want to come and ask ourselves, what could we do to better serve this customer? And that's where those conversations where what you focus on will grow. Call customer A, ask them questions. Hey, how did the year go? Find an excuse to serve them better. Don't email them a survey. God, those are annoying. Customer satisfaction surveys are just like the worst. Build a relationship with your contact. Call them, talk to them, and find an excuse to get together with them that will actually benefit them, like bringing them cookies, inviting them to lunch, treating them to a special spa day. These things allow you to have the access to the information that you need to improve your business. So once you've done that, you should be able to find fresh ways to serve those people. And now you have a chance to thank them. Hey, you're our VIP. We were so happy working with you this year. We really wanted to say thank you. And that's why we sent you these cookies. Just imagine how you respond when someone's grateful for all that you've done for them. It puts you in a positive position to want to continue to talk to them. So when is the last time you thanked your top 20%? Maybe it's time. Maybe today is the day. The information is hidden right in your profit and loss statement. So now that you've identified your top 20, we need to ask ourselves these kinds of questions. How can you reorient yourself and your business to focus on serving your best clients? So ask yourself these types of things. How often do you talk to them about their life and try to build relationships with your best customer? Do you send them articles about things that are relevant to them? Not just stuff to try to get them to sell, to buy from you. So not salesy articles, but things that actually help them to do a better job in their business. When you see their products inside of stores, do you take pictures of them and text it to them saying, oh my God, I was so excited to see you in Whole Foods. That one moment of appreciation and acknowledgement has emotional weight to it. When is the last time you sent a personalized text to this person who is the main point of contact for your customer base? The one other way to apply this is more painful, and very few people are willing to do it. But once you've sorted things by revenue, you also see who your bottom 20% is. Those bottom performers are customers that you can actually comfortably get rid of without hurting your total revenue. You should ask your team if everyone feels comfortable with it, but discuss, why are those people bottom performing? Why are those customers at the very bottom? Why don't they buy more from you? Usually, when you do this type of analysis and there's a threat of possibly firing that customer or stopping serving them, people jump and rise to the occasion, and all of a sudden, they can think of fresh ways to sell to those people. So this is a worthwhile exercise to go through the bottom 20% and say, should we keep working with them this coming year? And use the same information, use the data. How big are they? Are they a good fit for us? Did we serve them very well? What revenue are they generating? And ask then the more soft information, like, did we like working with them? Were they fun? Were they easy? Possibly they just started buying from us in December of last fiscal year. So that's why their numbers are so low. So it's not really a fair reflection of their total revenue. These are all minutia, details. If you are confused by it, just hire a consultant who can help you think it all through. But the point I'm trying to get at, you should look at the bottom 20% and ask yourself if it's worth doing business with them. And if it's not, it's okay to let them go, because when you let them go, they will go find someone else who can serve them better, happier, and you will have more free time to serve your best customers and find new customers. Where did you find this customer? Where are they hanging out? Are they chilling in trade shows? Are they going to find their customers in malls? Where is it that they are trying to find people that they want to serve? Because usually similar customers for you will be located in those same places. Is there any service that we don't provide that they would want to buy from us? Is there any service that we provide currently that is like the worst and no one is really buying except for our worst customer? Did we build that service just to serve the people who maybe aren't the best fit for us? What other needs can we think about that this person has that we shouldn't be serving, but that we could possibly help with? For example, maybe they're all about getting social media likes. Can we promote them on our social media so that they get the likes that they're looking for? The answers for how to grow your business this coming year are literally right in front of you in your profit and loss statement. And it's all based on what you focus on will grow and the Pareto's principle. So how are you going to apply these strategies to your coming year? I'd love to hear in the comments what it is that you plan to do to be able to scale your business. And after you do this exercise, would you please tell me how you feel? Does it make you mad that we can identify who the top 20% is? Or are you super stoked? Did this give you some empowering insights into your business? Please leave them in the comments. Of course, like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Start to Sold. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope that everything that I talk about is always encouraging to you and your business and helps you to go from start to sold.